Wow, I don't really know what to say. I mean, I guess number one, I actually feel for Fred. I'm not sure we're that good, and I know they're not that, you know, I know they haven't struggled like that. They played really well, and go to Creighton and win on the road is a big win, and this was a big prep game for us in 2 days. To give my staff a lot of credit. And maybe, like you say, the maturity of my team, guys that have been here and been through these kind of games. We talked about Big Ten openers, how important they are on the road. We talked about winning at Minnesota, where everybody thinks, one thing, but Minnesota is a tough place to play. And, we really put an emphasis on our defense because we felt like we've been doing a very average job defensively in a way. We've been giving up points. Now at Minnesota, we gave up 20 points in the last 5 minutes, and the field goal percentages are not reaching the goals that we have, and so we put a big emphasis on that. But when you think about, Jackson, 12 rebounds, 7 offensive, did an unbelievable job, and he gets 8 points, and felt bad because I told him not until he's a senior, but, he wanted a double-double. I make a big deal around here about double-doubles. I tell him about Draymond Green threatening me in my huddles of taking him out when he's got 9 points or 9 rebounds. And I said I always gave in to him because he was bigger, meaner, and he was a senior when he was threatening me. And I told Jackson, he begged me, and I said, Jax, you ain't as tough as Draymond. You haven't produced like him yet, and you're not a senior. But I did feel bad for him. I actually liked the fact, and so did the players, that he was hungry on a goal that he had set. And 30 points off the bench, guys, in 9 out of 10 games is almost incredible. Really is a plus. Strength in numbers. Plus 29 on the glass against a team that's big was a big thing. The free throw shooting last night, we always shoot night for a game. We got up to 92% as a team. We're carrying over what we're practicing, and that's kind of been encouraging. 22 out of 23 there. Jaden, hit 4 threes, and he missed a couple that were wide open. But he's starting to feel better and better. It really makes a difference. And Jace Richardson, the other guards played pretty good, but Jace is just, I think, getting back now after his concussion a little bit. And, man, he looked smooth and good, and that was great. And I'm hoping that Jared Goff watched the game, because when I see him throw a pass off the bottom of his tush and complete a lob like that, then I'm going to put him in Jeremy's category, because that was an unbelievable play by Jeremy. And we told Book, not Book, but Cohen missed a couple of chances too. Jeremy threw him one, and Jace threw him one. But we're moving the ball better. We're shooting the ball better. 20 assists again. Only bad stat that I have is 17 turnovers. And sometimes that's going to happen when you play more people. There's not a real good feel for each other yet as we get to a third of the way through the season. But crowd was phenomenal. I'm glad we get a little break in a way, and everybody say, well, don't you want to keep playing? And I want to at least enjoy one afternoon and one night and say, these guys have done a lot of things we asked them this summer, and right now we're making some progress. Now, progress can go the other way, as we all know, so I'm not ready to say we're great at everything but we are getting better, and that's kind of what a coach wants, to get better. It wasn't Nebraska's day. They're a much better team than they played. We probably had something to do with it, but they had something to do with it. They'll get better. You watch, they'll win some big games. But really all I care about is Michigan State, what we do to try to be different. Don't get caught up in all the crap that's going on, because you've never seen any flows like you've seen lately in college basketball as far as the difference in scores. And so we're just going to keep doing what we do and see where it takes us. Questions?
I got a pretty good stat for you. 48 rebounds is pretty old school. And Fred Hoiberg just said that playing your team today was like playing Nebraska in the old days in football, which must be the ultimate compliment to you.
Oh, yeah. Football team on hardwood was the best compliment I've ever gotten in my teams. But, I did feel we really went at it, and Jackson had a lot to do with that, but other guys rebounded pretty well too, and some guys knocked the ball loose. Frankie Fiddler did some good things knocking the ball loose. Shaman gets 6 rebounds. Trey Holloman gets 4. I mean, we got different guys doing different things, and everybody's kind of buying into the substitution pattern. It's not easy, but we're trying to just keep guys fresh. And I think that's why our running game has been so good, and you rebound better when you're fresh. So we'll see if we can keep that going.
The first 10 minutes of the second half, when you came out of Minnesota, you said that you kind of didn't like the fact that you were at about maybe 14 and it would dip back down. They kind of did the things that you wanted to do at that point, and I'm wondering about the defense in particular of that stretch, where that ranks maybe in some of the stretches recently.
Well, I got to watch the film, see if they just missed open shots or not, but I thought it was pretty good. But we did talk about, and that's what's fun when you have a team that's kind of together and a team that's been here through some wars. We talked about Minnesota. We talked about other games where we came out in the second half and we did not maintain. We did not want to exchange baskets. And there was 1 or 2 times that was a big battle cry in the huddle by the team, not the coach, which is, starting to get where you want it to get. But I'm really proud of them because we practiced like we played. And we came back, we were tired. As you can imagine, we got in at 2:30. We were tired on Thursday. And we talked about having just a walkthrough. And then we said, no, we're going to practice. We didn't go crazy, so don't get alarmed. No lawyers, no lawsuits, but we didn't go crazy. But we did do what we had to do. And then Friday, day before a game, we had it pretty good. And I think you can do that when you know you have some depth. So, I'm proud of my staff. I'm proud of those guys because in a quick turnaround, I thought they did a hell of a job.
And Tom, over here on your left, you mentioned Jackson a couple of times. It seemed like he spent about half the game on the floor fighting for loose balls. I guess what was your thought on just some of the hustle plays we saw from him and others?
Yeah, him and others, because there were a lot of guys on the floor, and that's who we are and who we got to get back to, And one game doesn't get you back on track, but we are making some progress. And when things like that happen, or Jeremy's happen, it lifts the crowd, it lifts the team, it lifts the coaches, it lifts everybody. And that's why they're winning plays, we call them in sports. They're winning plays. Winning plays are sometimes worth double the actual score. And there were a lot of winning plays, getting after, knocking balls loose, keeping rebounds alive. I thought we did a lot of good things.
Tom, can you recall the last time you had this amount of depth? You talked about it 1 through 10, and what are the challenges of I guess, keeping everybody happy?
Well, the beauty of it is we're still going to see some guys emerge, Jaden's starting to emerge, but I got to watch how I say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. For 26, 7, 8 years of my career here, what made you happy? Winning. That's kind of changed. And I think this team, winning makes them happy. And sure, did Jackson want to go in? He's arguing with me on the bench because he had a goal. I love the goal. Jeremy had a goal, wanted to get 10 assists. I love those. And was he mad at me for 2 minutes? Probably. But, winning, as they say, my old buddy Doug Herner, cures a lot of evils. But I think winning, and I think the fact that they get along with each other. Everybody gives that generic line, we got a close-knit team. You guys, locker rooms are always open. You guys can see it. They're just a bunch of guys that absolutely care and for each other. And yesterday's practice, Pat Miller, who used to play here, was at our practice. And we were talking to a good friend of ours that's an assistant at Nebraska, Ernie. And Pat said, I told Ernie they played just like they practiced yesterday. Now that was the best compliment I could get. That was even better than the football. They played like they practiced yesterday, and that is every coach's ultimate goal. If you practice well, can you take that now to the floor and game night? And we kind of did, and that's a credit to my assistants, and it's a credit to the players, not me.
18-point win in the barn, 37 today, that's plus 55. Can you remember better pair of Big Ten wins in 66 hours, and does Zapala have to report early to shoot free throws?
Yeah, that and those turnovers. But you know what? My good friend, I listen to a lot of people that I respect. And my good friend Nick Saban would say, let's not start spreading the rat poison here. We got, we played 2 really good games, and I don't know if anybody knows how good anybody is anymore. I watched that game last night, and I watched some of the Ohio State Maryland game. I watched some of the Purdue. I don't know if anybody knows where anybody is, but what I do know is this team at Michigan State is making some progress, and that's they're making some progress together. We've had so many different leading scorers, I don't even know. And is that perfect? No, we still need a go-to guy, I still think Chase does some things that I really like, that he can make shots, he can make drives, and he can make passes, and he's just going to keep getting better. Those other guys are doing a good job. Our bigs are by committee sometimes, but they're by committee. And I just, I want to see how we do now. I was worried coming off of North Carolina. Had a little success. How do we deal with it? We dealt with it pretty well. Then you go up there and you win. Now you come home opener. I've had some home openers where we figured the crowd will get us through. And I made a big point to make sure our job is to get the crowd going. It's not their job to get us going. So we do some things, they get going, then they carry us. Let's not do it vice versa. I thought we did a good job of that. Now we got a lengthy time off. My old nemesis, Campy, why I keep playing that game, I got to be insane, I think, because they're really good. I mean, they beat Toledo this year. They're really good, and yet that'll be a Christmas 4th of July for them down there. I'm anxious to see if it'll be a Christmas 4th of July for us. We have finals. We're going to give them some time off. We're going to get back. We got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday to really bear down, and then hopefully 2 games before Christmas, little break, and then the real war starts. So I don't know, Jack. It's I like where we're headed. I like where we are right now. I think we've made some progress, but I don't think where we are is going to be good enough to really compete yet. There's still some things we got to get better at.
Coach, the best teams always get better as the year goes on. I know you said you've seen progress here in these first 10 games. What do you want to see, let's say, in the next 10 games that you still want to see your team get better at?
Yeah, I'd like to see us defensively get more and more solid ball screen defense. Sometimes our bigs are a little slow getting up there. We got to do a better job of that. I think the more we play together with different lineups, so that we can have different lineups to go to. We haven't played Cohen at the 4 a lot yet. If teams go small ball, like some will go big ball, which we can, compete against that. Consistency is what I want to see now. Can we stay consistent? Can we stay level-headed? Can we keep working? Or do we let the outside world, get us? It'll be a cold day in hell before I'm going to let that happen this year, because I said at the beginning of the year, and I say it now, I like the team. And sometimes it's coach speak. And this one wasn't. I mean, going to Europe, going to the UP, going different places. You spend a lot of time with your guys. I think it's helped us.
Hey, Coach, Jaden Aiken had 18 points today. You kind of mentioned how he's been more of a go-to guy this year. What's been the biggest difference you've seen so far in his senior season as compared to his first 3 years here?
Well, the poor guy's making shots. And, he gets 18 points. Guys, he only took 10 shots, I believe. He's been really efficient, 4 from 8 from the 3. He's getting to the line a little more, 4 I'd like him to rebound a little bit more. That'd be one thing. My guards got to rebound a little bit better, but Trey and Jeremy got 3 and 4, and I'd like to get Jaden up there. Frankie got a couple. He got 2, and Book came on the second half. I think Book's got a lot of growth yet, a lot of growth, and we just got to keep working with him. So I think Jaden is going to be our go-to guy. Everybody needs one, and he sure has worked to earn that spot. Now he's got to play that spot, and I think, this all helps. I mean, his last 3 games, 4 games, he's getting better, but long season, guys, long season yet.
You brought up the lob between Jeremy and Cohen. It seemed like there were a few times in this game where he was looking for Cohen ahead of time with his eyes. What impresses you about Jeremy and his ability to find the open guy, or just his playmaking ability?
Well, I thought 2 things when I got Jeremy. I thought he was one of the better passing guards in the country, and I thought he was one of the better defenders, and then when his accident happened, it's still been you can see sometimes he doesn't have his footing the same way. I mean, it's like learning to walk all over again. And so I think in talking about what do I think we can get better at, he's going to get better too. I mean, he had a year off or 9 months off. And I tease him, but look around this room. There aren't many people in here that couldn't throw a lob to Cohen and would be successful. There's a couple of you, but not many of you. Cohen I can't believe he dropped that one underneath that Jace gave him. That would have been a crowd favorite. And he missed one more that Jeremy gave him. But, when he blocks a shot, think about this. He's done it twice now. It was at Minnesota or North Carolina. He had a dunk on the other end. And then tonight he almost did the same thing. And that's incredible. That really means something when you can get a dunk on one end. You're not cheating out. I mean, a block. So you're blocking at the rim, and you're still beating people down the other end to get and he made, I think the greatest thing about tonight, for me, because we've been working on it, is Cohen going 4 for 4 from the line, and everyone looked beautiful. He's really worked on it. He's gotten better. He's getting more confident. The next step will be getting his jump shot over Christmas. But he's really kind of homed in, changed it, and it's looks great. So that's encouraging too.
Coach in the back, it seemed like you really like what Jace was doing out there. How would you assess how he has kind of matured and come into his own early in the season?
Jace is, I can't say I've had many guys that came in their first year and have, number one, the moment's never too big for him. Number 2, he just has a feel. I don't know how to, like I've been told, and I've been seeing, and I've been talking to him about it. Just get him coming off some screens and let him do his thing. And that's not always the way it is, because most people can't handle that. He's a guy that I feel comfortable with. With his hands on the ball, he makes free throws, he makes threes, he makes mid-range, and he's a very, very good passer. So he's just going to keep improving too. Like I said, he was out a little bit, played at Minnesota after only a day of full practice, and you're going to see him, I think, soar. So really proud of Jace and what he's earned on his own. Thank you, guys.